I would like to call the Jefferson Elementary School District Board of Trustees meeting to order of August 23rd, 2017 at 7:02 almost p.m.
7:01 still.
Could we have the roll call?
Shaquille Ali.
Here.
Clayton Koo.
Here.
Rebecca Douglas.
Here.
Marie Brizuela.
Here. So let's have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Something's blinking over there. It's okay. So I'll ask the board to review the board meeting guidelines that we have and make a selection. So we've all selected something?
Mm-hmm.
Can we move on? Yep. Okay, so let's move on, and we'll get to that at the end of the agenda. So now we're going to have the approval of our agenda, and we have a request to remove item 9F from the agenda.
Okay. I move that we approve the agenda with the removal of item 9F.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under communications, board members we make acknowledgements and commendations. Want to start?
Sure, I'll start. I'd like to acknowledge everyone here and commend everyone for starting school today. And also, I know Jerry Hill has a bill that's being considered for, to raise the cap limit, I believe. And there's another bill by a assembly member from, I think his name is O'Donnell. So there's two bills that we need to be looking out for and supporting so that we will be able to keep as much as our reserves as possible. And that would be it.
Thank you. Clayton?
I'll just keep it simple. Just wish everyone a happy first day of school. That's all.
Yeah. Again, also, welcome everybody back for the first day of school. I have to say, on a personal note, it was very strange to me. This is the first time that schools opened, and I wasn't sending anybody, not to the high school, not to the grade school. It happens. I also want to extend congratulations to the high school district for their new superintendent. I did get a chance briefly to meet her last Tuesday, and they're very excited, and she seems like a great choice, and I wish them all the best.
Is that me? I also
It's
want
the
to
mothership.
I also would like to say welcome back to school. And I know it's going to be a great year, and also wanted to also welcome the new superintendent for the high school district. And I also was there to meet her. She seems like a great gal, fun, has some good ambitions and goals for the district. So I'm happy about that. And then the other thing is that the governing board last week had a special meeting over at Policy to School, and it's not completely done. It is for the children, for what they need to do, or students, I should say. They're a little bit older. But it is absolutely out of this world. They told us all about how they did it and what's here and what's there, and I was blown away. They actually used almost every inch of land there to make sure it was laid out beautifully. I'm so excited. So there won't be a grand opening until everything's completely done, and when that happens, we'll all be able to invite the public to come and see where the tax dollars went. So, with that. So let's move on to our correspondence, the superintendent comments.
So
So again, I just want to reiterate, we had a smooth opening of school. Students were assigned to their classrooms, very little misassignment, and very few folks at the district office looking for an assignment, which is great. We had, and Ms. McCulloch will speak more to this, an excellent professional development day last Friday, sort of gearing up for the new year and some of the practices that we want to be instituting across all of our school sites. And yeah, it's been a great week. Eagerly awaiting the completion of the last items at TR Policita so we can have that celebration.
And how about our administrator comments?
Sure. Well, I'll speak to the Institute Day, as Mr. Vidal said. We had all of our certificated staff at a professional learning day on Friday at Fernando Rivera, and is very successful. Every site had all their staff together in a classroom, and we talked about our district initiatives with a multi-tiered system of support, and really looking at a universal screen and how we know our students are performing, checkpoints throughout the year, and really supporting all students, all learners, not just academics, but social emotional learning as well. So we're really excited about the steps we're taking, and we'll be sharing more later at another future meeting.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So I was at SBA this morning in Policita. I spent the majority of my time between about an hour, hour and a half at each school. Wasn't able to get out to others, but it was really great. Great to be out there with Mr. Rohrbach and seeing all the celebration, him as a new principal there. And then Policita, again, like you mentioned, just seeing it in action and having the folks there and the new uniforms and things. It was just a really good, nice vibe. It was great to see everybody happy. And I was just saying, you know, I made some calls to my other colleagues, just how the day went. It was just a general positive energy. The phones at my office, same thing, quiet. So it was really good to start off. I'm happy to have it.
I'd like to welcome everybody back to school as well, like everybody else. But I also want to remind the parents and the students to fill out the free and reduced lunch applications. Do it early. There are a lot of students that roll over from the previous year, but after 30 days they drop off. So if you get in your application now, you won't drop off, you won't get the little notice, and you'll also be entered into the drawing. Again, sponsored by Sodexo, so we're happy to have that. And the drawing will be in end of October.
Great. So, I wanted to ask a couple of questions. Did we have all our teacher staff everybody there? Because I hear about other districts not having enough teachers.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, we were completely hired. We do have some folks that are working on internship programs, part of the university program, but no, all of our slots were full in certificated. Classified, we still have some hiring just in terms of, the testing process and whatnot, but no, it was nice to have all the boots on the ground today.
Great, thanks. I was
Definitely.
really happy to hear that.
Absolutely, me too.
And then you mentioned new uniforms over there. Is that different from before?
So, as you might recall, at the end of the year, Mr. Turner came and did a presentation to
Right.
that, and it is a blue slacks with like TRP sweatshirts and then collared shirts underneath.
Yeah.
But what was nice is there's some flexibility in terms of kind of what you can or can wear. And Mr. Turner, is ready to get some other uniforms just to have available for students that either can't afford them or need a little more time.
Right.
Looking around, it was quite a high percentage of the families or
That's
the students that
beautiful.
were doing that. And up at SBA, looking down at TRP, the architecture,
Yeah.
it's really nice. That whole
Yes.
corner has really got a boost.
I
must
noticed
say.
that when we went too, yeah. It really shows up. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can move on. Thank you. Persons wishing to address the board. Anybody? I don't have any slips here. Anybody want to address us? Now's your time.
Brace ourselves for the crowds.
Okay, then we'll move on. Item under 7, general functions. We have our consent agenda. So
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
I think I heard Shaquille first. Okay. So I think we don't have any resolutions, right? Yeah. So let's go.
No.
Did I forget it? Okay. Oh, I see it. Next to the C. Okay, so let's have a roll call on the motion, Maria.
Mr. Ali,
Aye.
Mr. Koo,
Aye.
Dr. Douglas.
Aye.
Mrs. Brizuela.
Aye. Okay, so now we'll go to, are we done with all of this here? Aye. JESD Annual Board Governance Workshop and our board calendar considerations.
So we have 3 separate items to discuss and decide on this one. We'll take them one at a time. The first one is identifying and selecting a date that the board would like to invite Ms. Luann Rivera to join us and lead us through a board governance session. She has, we were the first to get on her calendar. She's penciled us in for January 2nd and February 3rd. And if we could select one of those.
January 20th?
Sorry, 20th. January 2nd, I'm busy. January 20th, February 3rd.
We're not quite awake.
So if you guys want to discuss and select a date that seems agreeable and possible, that'd be great. Or if we need to go back to Ms. Rivera, we can do that as well.
Let me just call up the calendar. Is January 20th the start of, I was just saying the start of President, like it doesn't matter to me anymore,
January
does it?
20th would be, I think that is the Martin Luther King birthday weekend.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So-
What kind of lead?
No, actually, it's the weekend following Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, so
the
that's early.
15th.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a normal weekend.
Normal weekend.
So I am totally good with either one.
Same with, I can do either one.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I don't
Oh.
know. I don't know her schedule. And she did not let me know.
Yeah.
So, if the board is good with either one, I will make an attempt to contact her tomorrow.
Okay,
and,
that'd be
and
great.
get a date, and then we can set that date. So that would be
So
fine.
either one for all of us, right?
Okay.
Is that what we said?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so.
There's a second item now.
You-
Sort of, it's within that item, second decision. There's 3 decisions. The second one is moving our December meeting, which is currently scheduled for December 13th, to move that to Wednesday, December 6th. Is that agreeable?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
From what date you said?
Currently, it's December 13th, which
Oh,
is the
to this-
second Wednesday of December. Would move it to the first Wednesday in December.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. And so for that one, I will need a motion and a vote because we've previously voted on setting the calendar. So if we're going to change the calendar, we should vote on that. So if one of you want to do that.
I'll make a motion to move the December 13th meeting to December 6th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, the other one is just a planning thing, just put it on our calendars. January is always a hard month to get 2 meetings in, and I'm recommending that we do a meeting on January 17th. I'm out of town the week of the 24th, so I'm not able to make it to that one, so.
Okay.
So we wouldn't do one on the second Wednesday, we'd do it on the third Wednesday.
So there would only just
So we do
There would
just.
only be one meeting.
Just one meeting?
Just one
right?
meeting.
One meeting and/or, if we decide on the 20th that we're going to be meeting on that day, it would be a turn around and have a meeting on Saturday
Right.
for
Okay,
governance workshop.
right.
Oh, that's right. We could always add it to that.
So, I mean, and if either are good, I would likely select February 3rd because that would give us a better chance of possibly having our district office boardroom back for a meeting.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'll find a warm library somewhere in the district to meet.
Okay. So can we have a motion on that one then?
Okay.
No, that would
No,
not
you
be
don't
a
have to?
motion. It's just, because
Okay.
we'll vote on that when we set the calendar for the following year.
Oh, that's right.
In December.
Yeah.
So
Oh, right,
I just
okay.
wanted to check to see it's okay to put it on
Okay.
that. I didn't want to surprise. That one's really hard because you're voting on something in December for like 4 weeks later, and like I'd like to know that you can at least make the first meeting of the year.
Okay.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Great.
So we voted on the only one that we have to vote on?
Only one that we have to
Okay.
vote on. The other one is just input, and we'll get that out to you.
Okay. All right. And then maybe Maria can do those little reminders to us constantly. I love those. Okay.
very good at
All right, so let's move on to
Upcoming
J,
meetings.
2017 Legislative Awards Program.
And we put this on the agenda, and the turnaround time is so quick, we needed to nominate and vote today. We don't have any nominations, so we're not, we can't vote. So keep your eyes open, ears open for possibilities of a legislator for next year.
Okay.
If the form's always the same, so save the form, you can fill it in. We'll just transfer it to the new form when we get it.
I just wanted to say, I know I mentioned Senator Jerry Hill earlier. It seems like for the last year or so, or maybe 2 years, he's been the only one really.
Yeah. So Jerry Hill's not, we're not
Oh.
in his
Right.
his
in his-
district.
Oh, that's right, you told me.
Yeah.
But he has the rest of San Mateo County, except Daly City and South City, I think.
All right.
But no, it does say that they have to be
They
in our
have to be,
district.
yeah, they have to be
that's-
representing us.
yeah.
All right.
And somehow, a lot of times it's down south that gets nominated, gets elected,
Yeah.
chosen.
So if you have friends and, well, they would have to do it this week also. Friends in another district that is further south, they can nominate Mr. Hill.
That's true.
Okay, so we'll just leave that one alone. So this is for information. CSBA call for nominations for directors at large. So they're looking for nominations for the various directors at large groups, African American, American Indian, and the county. Well, the county, we don't
nominate that.
We don't nominate that one. Okay, so basically, has anyone made consideration of wanting to nominate somebody?
Yeah, this is information, so all of the material is attached. If you do want to make a nomination, please reach out to the person you're nominating and make sure that they have your consent and that they fill in all of their stuff. And then we will, if I get it by the 14th, we can put it at the 27th meeting
Okay.
for a vote.
All right, so let's move on to L. Jefferson Elementary School District response to grand jury report. Should tire-driven products be used on athletic fields in San Mateo County schools? So, Bernie, did you want to take this?
Yes, so we prepared a response with guidance from County Council on many of the answers. Currently, we are leaning toward not using any tire-derived products, but I didn't want to say that explicitly until we had time to investigate it. So the response includes the process that we would follow should we be considering some tire-derived products for filling.
Okay. So now we go to under business and financial.
We have to take
Well, we
action
already
on
done
that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm so sorry, I'm just trying to get out of here tonight. Oops, trying to wrap this up. Okay, so action. Is there a motion?
I'd like to move that we approve the recommendation of,
The response.
we approve of the response to the grand jury report. Should tire-derived products be used on athletic fields in San Mateo County schools?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now we can turn the page. C, TR policy to phase 2B and 3, change order requests. So,
And district
Taking that.
office as well. Okay, yes, that would be me. So under, I think I already informed you in a info bulletin, under leaseback, we had a contingency built in. And because we were doing lowest responsible bidder, we did not build in any contingencies. We can do that in the future so that we don't have to come back for small things and we can just come back for larger things. But in any case, we have Phase 2B, Phase 3, and also the district office, since we're in it now, where we want to, first off, we've got a lot of change orders in the TRP project, which is normal. And you have a list of them. In Phase 2B, the total comes up to about 6%. We normally like to have around 10%, and then we hope not to always spend it. And then in Phase 3, I believe it comes up to 4-point-something%.
4.9, is it?
Yeah.
No, 4.5.
4.58%. And so there's the change order amount, and then we have reviewed and authorized them to move forward because, for instance, the manhole that needed to be redone, things that had to be done in order for the project to get done, that have been approved. And so these are actual change orders. And then we have estimated change orders where we're still like negotiating what the price is, so we don't have the final price, so it's not included in the list of change orders, but there is a list with the estimated prices on that. And then there's a contingency amount, and that's the 170 on phase 3 and the other amounts on the other, that are for things that we don't yet know, that might still come up, so that we have the ability to go ahead and authorize that if we need to. And on the district office one, we do not have any change orders yet. It's really early on in the project. But again, when they pull open those walls, we don't know if we'll have rot or other things. So, you know, they are very old, so we can't know what's behind the walls. We can only kind of guess. And so what we did is we just put a 10% contingency on that one because we don't know what they are yet. And then hopefully we won't have to spend it all, and in which case it will just go back into the bond. So do we have any questions on any of these?
Yes, just one. Well, I have one. So are we authorizing the difference between 745, 500, and 414, 11750, or are we adding those two together?
You're adding those two. The 414, now mind you, this is a $37 million project.
Right.
So
Right.
it looks really big, and it would be
Yeah.
really big if I had to spend it from my money. But the 414 are the change orders that have already been done, that were already approved. And then the 745 is a combination of things that the final price wasn't completed yet. What happens is when they bid, when we go with a change order, we can ask them, what would you charge us to change this?
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't like the price that they give us, then we can go to the prices that they wrote down, their hourly rates, because they do have hourly rates that are included in the actual bid. And so that's our safety net. So if they come back and say, oh, we're going to charge you $80,000, and we go and we look at their hourly rates and figure out, well, we think it should really be $42,000, we want to go with the rates, and they have to do that. So that is those are the ones that aren't complete.
All right.
And we're still working on.
That was it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Any other questions? If not, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Policy is looking good. So we'll move on to item, oh no, action again, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I should highlight it up there.
I move that we approve the change order requests and contingency allowances for the TR policy to Phase 2B and Phase 3 projects, and for the district office modernization project. The total amount comes out to $1,159,617.50.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay. Okay. Let's see.
Somewhere.
So
Where does this bring us
I think
to?
they're pretty much, so under 10 classified, huh? I didn't miss anything, did I? Oh, we took that one off. Okay, under 10, classified personnel, A, retirement for classified personnel.
Well, we have a veteran of 28 years in our district that has given us her word that she's going to be retiring, so I'd like to request that the board approves the request for retirement from Ms. Louise Araujo, instructional assistant for special education at Thomas Edison, effective August 1st, 2017. And that an appropriate resolution be prepared, commending her for years of service with the district. She's been serving with us since 1989.
Good, nice.
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Happy retirement.
Yeah. Okay, item 11, the board policies. So we are,
Did we,
It's for our first
Skip
reading.
something?
Huh?
Oh, you took that off.
Yeah, we took that one off. Thank you, though, for catching that in case. All right, so let's go to the board policies. This is a first reading. Let's see, we have any questions on any of the items?
Did not. It's a pretty straightforward last time.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, let's see. Nope. Okay. The only ones we're looking for is when they keep putting us like the high school district, and have to say, no, we're not. We don't have adult ed. Okay, so I think if we haven't had anybody have any questions on it, can we have a motion on it?
I'll make a motion to approve the first reading of
Board
The board
policies.
board policies and administrative regulations and minor revisions from the May 2016 CSBA board policy revisions as stated in the first reading.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Well, that's good. 12, now we get to do board member comments, reports, and reflection on board meeting guidelines, and there they are. So, would you like to start again?
Sure. No reports. I reflected on we will work toward the future, learning from the past, and just ready to get it going. Thanks.
All right.
I selected, we'll keep our remarks brief and to the point, stay focused on the topic at hand, and avoid getting sidetracked.
Mhm.
That was pretty much this meeting tonight, so.
Ironically, so did I, and I agree. That was a brisk meeting.
Yes.
Oh, I picked, we will build upon the ideas of others and look for common ground, and paraphrase for understanding, but we really didn't do that tonight. Not because we didn't want to, but because there was no need. It's getting to some of these things, that's what I said before, it's getting like, we're so used to it that it's
Yeah.
not really happening. But anyway, so, that's good. That means, it must mean we're doing a good job,
Mhm.
so. All right, so, now we go down to, is any persons wishing to address the board on the closed session items? I don't have any speaker cards, but it doesn't matter if you want to speak. Do you want to speak? Let's speak. Anybody? Okay, then we'll just,
It doesn't.
okay, so I guess we're going to convene to closed session, so we're going to take about a 5-minute break to let the huge audience leave. Or wait for us to come back.